The second one is I think very similar. Bitdefender found a crypto wall campaign that was distributing an attachment that was a CHM, which is a compiled HTML file, which Windows uses as help files. And they're basically HTML pages that you can open up in a very specific browser, but it can still run JavaScript. And from there, that's where you have problems where JavaScript runs, it goes out and grabs another file and executes it. So it was two stories in a pretty small range of time that both had to do with sort of trustworthy
similar
file
kinds
types.
Of things. Yeah, and I remember back, some of the early pieces of malware were conveyed as screensavers, right?
Oh yeah, and they still are. We still occasionally see .ser files.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we've seen even in like the doc and XLS space, the whole notion of VB script coming more into play. Like they used to do that a long time ago, and they went away. And now, within the past year or so, we're seeing more evidence of that. And they just, even though your Word, Microsoft Word protects you and says, hey, there's a script in here. Are you sure you want to click it? The guys, the bad actors have figured out, hey, put in a big arrow here that says, in order to see this text, click on the Enable Scripts button right here above the screen here. So a lot of people click it. So you got to be, Any program, like you said, any program that's reading a file in, no matter what that file is, it could be Notepad. People think a text file could be benign, and for the most part it is. Notepad's somewhat bulletproof, but it's a program that's interpreting data, and if you could give it just the right amount of stuff that program doesn't know how to ingest whatever it's reading, you could hit a buffer overflow like we talked about and get some arbitrary code execution to occur.
Yeah.
So even though it's not intended to be a scripted language, you could put that in if you can trick the program that's reading it, because pretty much everything is read by program.
Yep.
That reminds me, there's a really good book on the subject of exploit writing called The Bug Hunter's Diary. And there's a whole bunch of really mind-blowing examples. Like, I think one of the bugs in there that he exploits is he feeds a specially crafted video file to VLC player to cause it to crash, and then builds an exploit around that. So it's basically any program that takes any input, whether or not it's text files or video or who knows what. There's a possibility that you're going to be able to craft something that'll change the way that it behaves.
Yeah, absolutely true. And it's always looking for those boundaries that weren't considered.
Right.
Like a frame size of 0.
Yep.
Right.
That just sends the thing into some berserk mode, and if you can control the berserkness, it becomes an exploit. So.